We're still continuing in Psalm 139 about being known, and the verse today says, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." This might be the most read part of Psalm 139 and perhaps the most quoted verse against abortion. We read here that we were created in our inmost being in the womb, and that there's this praise that comes forth because of the realization that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And the writer knows this. Thinking about this, we know that in our world, suicide might be one of the most awful deaths to occur among the ones we love, or perhaps we've even contemplated it ourselves. Substance abuse, changes in family dynamics, family violence, and more can contribute to feelings of hopelessness and cause us to question why we're alive. Having no reason to live isn't just present in those with suicidal thoughts. It pops into the head in lots of our lives from time to time. If we no longer believe in God as our creator who formed us with a purpose and why we're here, then we start questioning. If we struggle with our identity in sex, job, appearance, and more, we fear that maybe we shouldn't even be here after all. And we live in a world that promotes insecurity on every level, and it makes sense to why suicide rates are at an all-time high. There's a reason these verses are here in this chapter about being known, about how we were formed. He created us in our inmost being and knit us together. I read this cool commentary on the meaning of the Hebrew words used here. I'm not sure how to pronounce them, but the two words Q-A-N-A-H and K-I-L-Y-A-H. One refers to the actual creating of our kidneys, the part of our body that expresses waste. And the other word refers to the desires and urges inside us, one of those being the desire to know God. So in other words, he knows us in our most intimate way and places in us desires to empty waste and desires to know God in our inmost being. Right here, we learn that there is nothing apart from being known by God that can satisfy and give us a reason to live than this truth that he formed us, he created our desires, and he's the only one that can meet them. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Fearfully means with great respect and heartfelt interest. That's why the clay in the potter is such a great visual of hands that form and reform, shape and mold with care and precision a vessel that has use and purpose. Wonderfully means unique and set apart for a purpose. So why then do many of us begin to question our purpose on earth and wonder if God is even interested in us, and find ourselves contemplating exiting this earth as an escape from the pain of not being known? Somehow this writer gets it. He said he knew it full well that the knowledge of being known in his inmost being erupted into praise. There are so many lies that are fed to us from the time we're born, and if we don't have the truth of how we were formed, those lies replace the knowledge of how we were created with the fear that perhaps there was no intent for us being here at all. It's great to study the human body, to talk about the intricacies and marvelous workings with our families. It's good to know someone with a newborn and to observe a baby grow and marvel how they learn to walk and talk. But when we move from that observation of physical workings in our body to the knowledge that even our desires and our spiritual longings were created with a purpose, to know and be known by the Creator, that ignites a fire. If our kidneys fail, we die. It's because kidneys perform a function that we need in order to live, to empty our bodies of waste. When the desire to know God is filled with other desires that are here today and gone tomorrow, like drugs, sex, fame, etc., we die. Or we want to die. But when that desire to know God is awakened and we sit at his presence and wake up to the truth that we were known and knit together before our face ever made its view into this world, well, that's life. Do you know anyone that knits? I haven't got the patience for knitting, but I've watched a knitter. Loops, intricate knots, ties, repeated patterns, long days and nights result in quilts and caps and scarves that last a lifetime. Imagine God knitting us together in our bodies and our spiritual desires before we're born to make us last a lifetime when we respond to the one that knows us. Sounds like we need to take a moment and praise the one who knows us and knit us together. Such knowledge is so wonderful, isn't it?